A very good morning, dear friends and my dear students. A warm welcome to this career orientation program, My Experience with Numbers. Dear students, recently I met few of our passed out final year students, those who had come to collect their certificates and marks card. And I asked one or two students what exactly you're planning to do next. And the answer what they gave to me was actually, ma'am, not yet planned. So most of our students don't plan out their career well in advance. That's why finally they don't end up with what they actually don't deserve. Because they deserve best and they because of the lack of planning, they will not end up with what actually they are eligible for. So we thought it's very important for our students to conduct this program. We had our own alumni, Ms. Namita Pius, to share her experience and also to explore the different opportunities, especially in abroad, for an IT profession. So before we start this program, let us invoke God's blessings. I request our staff, my friend Ms. Vinaya Durga, to invoke God's blessing.
ಚರಣಕಮಲಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸಿ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿರುವೆ ದೇವನೇ ಚರಣಕಮಲಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸಿ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿರುವೆ ದೇವನೇ ಕರುಣಿಸಯ್ಯ ದೀನಬಂಧು ಜೀವಕೋಟಿ ಕಾವನೇ ಕರುಣಿಸಯ್ಯ ದೀನಬಂಧು ಜೀವಕೋಟಿ ಕಾವನೇ ಮನುಜ ತನ್ನ ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇರುವುದೆಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯರ್ಥವು ಇಹದ ಮೋಹ ಜಾಲದಿಂದ ದೂರವಿಡಿಸು ಮನವನು ಕರ್ತೃವಂದೇ ಸಲಹುದೇವ ಸಕಲ ಶುಭದ ಹಸ್ತವ ಕರುಣಿಸಯ್ಯ ದೀನಬಂಧು ಜೀವಕೋಟಿ ಕಾವನೇ ಚರಣಕಮಲಗಳಿಗೆ ನಮಿಸಿ ಬೇಡುತ್ತಿರುವೆ ದೇವನೇ ಕರುಣಿಸಯ್ಯ ದೀನಬಂಧು ಜೀವಕೋಟಿ ಕಾವನೇ ಜೀವಕೋಟಿ ಕಾವನೇ
Dear students, I'm very happy to introduce today's resource person, Ms. Namita Pius, Graduate Assistant, University of Connecticut, United States. Ms. Namita is not new to us because she is a very proud alumni of our college. She is not only secured third rank in BSc Physical Science examination, but also she was the best outgoing student for the year 2016-17. She has recognized as Star Achiever for securing highest marks in NSEMS examinations of undergraduate. She has been awarded with P. Shankar Rao Memorial Prize for standing first in third BSc degree examination for the year 2016-17. She is also awarded with Professor K. Krishnamurti Prize for securing highest aggregate marks in mathematics during the end semester examination for the year 2014-15, 15-16, and 16-17. Currently, she is pursuing her PhD in data science. Namita, we are very happy to welcome you for this session. A hearty welcome to you on behalf of the management of St. Aloysius College and also from the Department of BCA. Welcome, Namita. I also extend my hearty welcome to all my dear friends and also to my dear students. Students, you may be having so many doubts and clarification. You can clarify all the doubts with Namita. Namita, over to you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Namita. Yes,
All right.
can
So,
continue.
hi everyone. Yeah. So it's night here, but I'm pretty sure it's almost 9 a.m. in the morning there. So first things first, I'm really glad to be addressing to Aloysius because, I mean, it's actually very overwhelming for me. Because I was a student there, I've done my bachelor's like BSc for 3 years there. So this is going to be a very impromptu talk. It's going to be more on how my experience has been, like from my journey, starting from BSc to how I've landed up in a PhD program. And because I'm studying in the US, I kind of want to brush you through how what are the procedures of apply if you are interested in applying for an abroad university. Like I'm just going to like brush you through like what are the procedures and stuff. So yeah, let's get started. So I remember applying for BSc assuming that I kind of had interest in physics. So I basically did my bachelor's in physics, stats, and maths. And statistics was something that I just took it because it was kind of related to maths and I kind of liked mathematics. But over those 3 years, I realized that I kind of developed an interest in statistics. And that's when I knew I wanted to do my master's in it. So I personally feel, and I'm pretty sure, like I've talked to many of my friends, so I know that in those 3 years of your life when you're doing your bachelor's, you kind of explore a lot of stuff and you actually realize what you are like what is your interest. Like I have had friends who have kind of gone into a completely different field which is not even related to what they were studying. Like I have one of my friends who kind of did her MA in arts. Like she's a dancer now. I have a few of my friends who have done masters in data analytics and are doing like really good. I have a few of my friends who have done masters in statistics and they're kind of teaching in Aloysius like that, I know. But I know that I wanted to do research, so I went with masters and then went with PhD. So one like major suggestion during your BSc, I mean, during your BCA is what I want to give is like try to explore your interest, like because you kind of have the luxury of time. Once you enter your masters, you either would probably do your masters or you would get into a job. So once you do that, you don't really have the luxury of time where you can kind of explore what you like. And it's very very necessary to kind of get into something that you like, because that's something that you would pursue for your entire life. Like you should be enjoying what you do. Like it's very, I see few of, like I have had friends who have come back and complained about they don't like what they're doing, and it doesn't give you mental peace. So it's like, trust me on this, like it's extremely important to kind of understand what you like, and that only comes with kind of exploring. Like there are times where you like, see, I, for example, I kind of got into BSc thinking that I liked physics, but of course I did like physics, but I kind of realized no, that's not where my interest lies. And you will know, like I kind of worked towards physics, but I realized my interest is in stats. Like, and that is one thing. And second thing, this is very important. Like like you see that there are a lot of people taking BCA. Like you have so many of your classmates, so all of you educationally are at par, but what would make you stand out is basically how you kind of do something extra. So Aloysius, I know, like has always, St. Aloysius always provided you opportunities. Like they kind of give a lot of like liberty for you to like take a part in fests, like organize them. So please take part in it, because I remember when, so I did my master's in Pune University. So during placements, so your CV is something which is like a representation of you, right? So I remember that that was kind of a strong point of me. And I remember I didn't have an, like I remember not taking efforts to have a good CV, because I did so many, like I took part in so many events, made be like competition, doesn't matter you win or lose, but participation, like I kind of wanted to get into like participate in fests and things like that, or organize fests. So try being very proactive, because that is going to make you stand out. And education, yeah, of course it's important. You need to like kind of be really good at what you are doing, like for example BCA, you should focus well on your studies. People say some people say marks are the only criteria, some people say, well, no, but for me it's like, it's, I'm not telling it's the only criteria, but it is one of the main criteria when it comes, like when there are two people standing in front of someone who's hiring you, and the only, probably the main criteria they say is like how one stands out from the other. Like educationally you might be equally qualified, but what makes one person stand better than the other? First thing, like there's a lot of competition outside, so you kind of have to make sure that you are way better than somebody else. So it's very important for you to do something a little more than what just your coursework provides. So try to, like, this is something I kind of didn't do during my bachelor's, and I wish I did. Like, there are a lot of online courses that are available which kind of are for free, and it's like, just do it, like get some certifications, because in when during your bachelor's you kind of have that time, that luxury of time where you can uh, kind of explore what you like and things like that. That is one thing I wanted to point on. And yeah, so I have been, so this is my second year in the US. I'm basically doing my second year PhD in statistics. So subject wise, like it's very difficult for me to address you guys because you guys are into an applied field of data science, which is mostly into computing, but I'm into a theoretical side because I kind of work on like I'm into theoretical statistics. So probably it's very
Hello,
difficult.
Namita.
Hello.
Sorry to disturb you. We
Yeah.
have not only BCA students, we also have BSc Computer Science students.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
great.
yeah. Thank you.
That's great. Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you. So yeah, so I mean, I never, like, I didn't really have a resource where I could ask people, like, how life is like abroad. I always wanted to like study, but I didn't know that whether what do I do. And it took me a lot of time to kind of research through these things. So here is something that, like, I kind of brief you through how things are. So um like once your bachelor's is done, you can obviously try for masters in abroad. I'm not telling do you have to, abroad is the only opportunity. No, like even you, like in India there are like very good universities, but most of the universities have an entrance exam, and it is very important for you to like score well in those entrance exams. So you kind of have to prepare much. Like I remember writing exam for an IIT. I didn't get through it, but I did secure a good rank, and because of that I had like a lot of preparation, due to which I wrote a Pune University entrance exam and cleared it and got into it. So if there is a, like, I feel it's very important for you to kind of source, like, see, from BC I have a lot of friends who have got into MCA, but I feel there are a few students that I know have got into data science and have been working really well. Like you one of my friends who's your senior, Deepak, he's in Ireland right now working. Like he did his masters in data science and he's been doing really well, but he was a BCA student. So see what options are available for you, because there are a lot of courses available. So don't restrict yourself to some certain game plan. Like if that's what you like, of course go ahead with it, but if not, like try to kind of look through a lot of course options. Like and if you kind of feel, if you maybe you're not sure, maybe you like it or not, but there is kind of like a small, like 1 month coursework that happens on Coursera and things, like you can just go on it. You can I don't even think it's paid, because right now due to COVID, I recently read that they're kind of making a lot of courses free for students. So grab that opportunity. Like I personally have done one course and it's been amazing. Like it kind of pushes you through work on it, and it's a great thing. I didn't do that when I was in my bachelor's, and I feel that right now if I'd have done it would have been really good. So this is something that I want you guys to do, like so that you kind of explore your interests. And there are few, like if there's I remember this one thing that I want to tell you. There is this one like, so I was always interested in cricket statistics. So I was like, well, I do not know what, like how would I, whom do I approach, because there are very less cricket statisticians. But I kind of researched, like I went on Google and I saw a few people, and there were like 2-3 names that came up. So there was one person called Dr. Srinivas Bogle. So he's actually Harsha Bogle's brother, and like Harsha Bogle is a big person. Like I mean, people who know cricket would know. So there were 2 other statisticians that came up. So I was like, well, like let me just try emailing them. What if they just reply to me? So I took that risk. I emailed them, and like two of them responded. There's obviously one person who didn't respond, but they did respond to me, and I ended up doing like a 1 month internship under them. So there are people out there who will be interested for like, like just to take you as an unpaid intern, like, so, and that exposure is kind of needed. So I worked alongside him, and that experience was very good, like, so that kind of helped me to, like, I realized that okay, maybe cricket statistics is something that I would possibly like to work on during my research. And I've not started my research here yet, but I definitely know that that is something that I would be looking on to. So these are the things I just wanted to point on. And okay, the second thing, so because I'm studying in US, I can kind of give you a picture of how things are here. So before coming here, I had to write two exams. One is the GRE and one is a TOEFL. So GRE is basically having two sections, like one is like proper vocabulary section, and one is a pure quantitative session. And that needs some kind of preparation, because that is an exam which kind of is a base of where they kind select you. Like, you need to have a certain score, only then will you be even your application would be only considered if you kind of pass through that score. And TOEFL is basically a pure vocabulary, a paper. That's just because they want to make sure that you know like a decent amount of English. And out of experience, I don't think Indians in general have had any problems with TOEFL, because like they kind of understand the way we speak. Like, I've seen a few of my friends here who are from South Korea and things like that, so they have a very different accent, so they kind of struggle with those exams. But I don't think in India, like any student has faced that problem. So and GRE is valid for 3-4 years. So if you're even planning to do your masters abroad, you can even write it now, because it would be like valid for 3 years, and then you just have to, like, you can focus on the other things. So GRE or TOEFL is something you'll have to write, without which you cannot apply to any universities. And I applied to almost 10 universities, and like, I kind of did a strong research. So even if you're applying for your masters, or if you want to do further research, like how I wanted to do a PhD, um, can I take questions in between? Like, I see some chat box. So, hello?
Namita, there is a question. What about
Yeah.
ILTS?
Yeah, so IELTS and TOEFL are kind of equivalent. So IELTS is basically, even for Canada, it's approved, but I think TOEFL, like TOEFL is more of a US thing. Like, most of the universities in US, I think all universities in US accept TOEFL, but few of them, like in IELTS, it would be like some of them would not accept it, like, but most all the universities in Canada would accept it. So I know about that. So if your focus is on US, then probably TOEFL would be a good thing. But both the scores are accepted, and both are kind of an equivalent exam. So just write one of them. Like, just see which, if your university, the university that you're interested in is in, like, accepting the scores. I recently heard that like, there are a lot of rules and regulations that have been changing because of COVID. I think GRE was waived, but in some universities they have not yet waived it. So, but now, because the COVID is kind of like, it's kind of being normalized here. So I think GRE is going to be back again. So before writing this exam, check the universities that you want to apply for. And how do you realize which universities you want? So for whenever you select a university, always try to kind of select, suppose you're applying for 10, say 3 top universities in terms of ranking, where you probably want to get them. And it's a little hard because you do not know what criteria they consider. Then the other 3, where, like, say the first 3 are like rankings from, say, top 20, the other 3 would be like 30 to 50, and the other one is like above 100 or something, where you're pretty sure, because any universities whose rankings are above 50, your possibility of getting in is really high. Because I have seen it here, they encourage a lot of Indian students. Like, even in Yukon, I've had friends from other universities. The population of Indian students are a lot. And but unfortunately, I feel when you compare North India and South India, very few South Indians come. And from Karnataka, it's literally like, I like, trust me, like, here in Yukon, I'm the only person from Karnataka. Like, so it's so difficult to find any fellow, like, people from Karnataka here, but from South India, of course, like from Chennai, there are a lot of people. So this is me like encouraging you to like just apply for your universities if you want to. I see few more questions.
Yes, Amita, there is a question. Uh, Students want to know if they want to get into American universities,
Mm-hmm.
whether only the entrance examination ranking is considered or whether their uh, grade has to be really high of the
So
appellate
okay,
examination.
all right. So yeah. So first thing, the GRE is something that will kind of like you need to have certain cutoff. Most of the universities will tell you what cutoff it is. All right. So you need to kind of go through that cutoff for your application to be even considered. So given that your application is considered, there are few things that come into picture. So you, if you are doing like when I applied, I had finished my masters, I had finished my bachelor, so I had to upload all my transcripts. And one very important thing that this is something that's called SOP, that's statement of purpose. That's where you kind of convince them. That is literally you trying to say why they should consider you. So that is where they kind of say, okay, why you are better than someone else. Because according to educational qualifications, there might be like 100 people who are at par with you, but what makes you stand out is something that they will look out for. And things like you participating in fests, you doing extra projects, you taking up internships, or like you doing something other than your coursework really will help you. So that is so in your statement of purpose you kind of write um, okay, what you have done, and like what extra you have done, and why do you think you would do well in that university. Because one more thing about US is if you are really a capable student, like if they feel that they find those capabilities in you, they kind of fund you for it. So right now I'm studying, but I am also working for them. So I basically teach the undergraduate students. I work 20 hours a week and they pay me for it. So I kind of study and work, and they really encourage that. So if your profile looks good, and why they allow me to teach is because they know that when I talk, the American students can understand, right? So that's where your TOEFL score comes into picture, and that's why it's very necessary for you to clear TOEFL or IELTS. So that is one reason why they want that as a criteria, because you need to be very clear in your speech. So people don't know this, like they think that okay, maybe there are scholarships, maybe they are not, but there are a lot of like is in student job opportunities here. Because they like what I do, like as a I basically have to work 20 hours a week, but it's kind of divided. So there is like I kind of teach some classes. I have pure grading, like I sit and grade undergraduate papers because professors don't do that. So that work comes upon us. So all this they do, and that's why TOEFL, GRE. So GRE is very important if you ask me, but after that it's very important to have a very strong statement of purpose. That's where you kind of like advertise yourself, like why you stand out. So I hope I answered your question. And is there anything else?
Namita, we will take up the questions after a little while. I think you can continue after a while.
Yeah, sure. I'll just wrap it up in like 5-10 minutes because
Yeah.
I want it to be a lot more interactive. um yeah, is there something else I wanted to say? That is, yeah, GRE I wanted to point upon. Yeah, and this one thing I wanted to tell, like most of the students kind of don't even give it a try because they feel maybe it's a lot of like you financial, like there's no financial aid and stuff. But given that you have a good profile, and if you approach them, there are a lot of student jobs available. Even if you do not get a teaching assistance, there are a lot of student jobs that are in campus which kind of help you through to, like, I mean, it's they pay you well enough so that you can stay well here. Like I mean, it's not bad. So, and when you get something like that, some kind of scholarship or something like that, they kind of waive your tuition fees. So you technically don't pay for your fees, like they also do that. So that is why your profile needs to be very good. And I know, like, a lot of people tell, do marks really matter and stuff? Like, well, they do, given the fact that you are learning out of it, and you score well. Like, you can also score well by learning. Like, it's not that it there's one thing that I always believe: not everybody who scores well is smart, and not everybody who scores well is not smart as well. Like, there are people who are smart and who score well, and that's the criteria you need to fall in. So yeah, I think that is something, those things I wanted to point upon. I
Okay,
can take in
Namita.
questions now because
Hello,
yeah.
Namita.
Yeah.
Student want to know, in case if
Mm-hmm.
they want to pursue their studies in abroad, maybe MS in any subject or
Yeah.
maybe research, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they want to know the actual procedure in the sense starting from visa and what are the other procedures they need to do, and also
Yeah.
they want to know how difficult it is to get into US with all the new laws introduced, whether they will be have any problem because of the new laws what they have introduced in US, and also the
Mm-hmm.
approximate cost.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'll tell you
as a
how
one entire
for me
procedure.
how it was. Like, see, it takes you one entire year to plan it. So their applications start well before advance. So they have a lot of semesters. They have a fall semester, they have a spring semester. Fall is basically due, it starts in August, and spring is something that starts in January. So they have two semesters that they run. So like the admissions every year happen twice, once in January, once in August. So I joined in the fall semester. But I prepared 1 year before that. So the first thing I did was wrote my GRE, I wrote my TOEFL. I got those scores because to apply to any university, you need to have those scores. I did that first. I got my SOP ready, and you need see you guys get transcript. I mean, you get your marks card issued from college, but you also get something called as transcripts. So apply for that because that is what they approve of. It's not a marks card. It's something. It's a little different from it. So but like in US, like they do not accept in marks card, like they kind of only accept something that's called transcripts. So get that from the university that you have graduated from. Then I kind of shortlisted the universities, and that I did based on something like what I kind of like, because here it even in masters or in PhD, you kind of have some advisor who assists you, like you kind of work for them. So I have an academic advisor now, and the reason, one of the reasons, main reasons why I chose UConn was because of that advisor, because I kind of wanted to work under her, and she works in something that I am interested in, that's time series. So I went through her profile. She's obviously, like, she happens to be from India. So I went through her profile. I emailed her, and she told me what she works on. And I was like, okay, maybe that's something I want to do. Because even having a sense of, like, who you want to work under, who can guide you well in terms of your research and stuff. So she did that. Then you apply. So I, for fall, that's in August, I started applying previous year November. And the applications, they just like probably are for a month or something. They start around early November, and they kind of are there like towards December. So even if you want to apply in, like, you want to get in August, you'll have to apply in November and December. So you need to get few things ready, like for example the transcripts. You need to have your SOP ready, you need to get your GRE and TOEFL done. So all this is, once all this is done, you'll have to just apply for your, you just have to apply, and it's all online. So of course, financially, it's I feel in masters it's a little hard for you to get uh, like your tuition fees waived. But in PhD, because you're more research oriented, they kind of like, you also, when you're applying for your application, you also kind of request for something that's called graduate assistance. And that has there are two things that you can do. You can either be a teaching assistant in it, or you can be a research assistant. So in teaching assistants, you basically help them teach the undergrads, and under research assistants, you kind of work for a company which is affiliated to that university under the advisor that you choose. So if your advisor kind of likes your profile, then they'll accept you, and you will get your acceptance quite early. You kind of get it in like Jan or February. So by probably Feb end or March, beginning of March, what universities have selected you, because they send you like a proper formal letter. And just in case you get a graduate assistance, they also send you that. So if you get a graduate assistance, your fees is completely waived. So you don't really have to pay your tuition fees, and the only thing after that is left is visa. So you just apply for the visa. And it's not hard, like, in visa, the visa process is not hard. Like, I don't know about the new rules, how it is with the new rules and regulations, but at least when I went for the visa interview, uh, only, like, given the fact that you get your graduate assistance and some, the only thing that they kind of check is, like, if you are well financially equipped to, like, reach there and like survive there for a few months. That's what they look at. So if you can show, like, even if you're not funded, if you can just show your like, maybe you're on an educational loan, so you kind of show them your documents and you be very confident when you talk, and you have to be very, like, they'll ask you, like, why this university, like, why have you chosen this university, and like, how many years course, like, they kind of test you, because they just want to make sure that you're just going there for educational purpose and not anything else. But it's not hard, like, as long as you're confident. Like, confidence is a key in a visa interview, because it's just that 2 minutes. It's basically a 2-minute interview. They just ask you questions, and then if they feel that, okay, well, you are not, they don't find anything suspicious, then they just give you your visa. So that's about it, about the visa process. And about the financial, see, you kind of have a little investment that you need to make. For example, there's a little fees that you need to pay while writing GRE, while writing TOEFL, and every application that you apply, like, for every application there is a certain application fee. So it's around, I don't know, but it's around like $120. So it's a little of an investment, but it's worth it. So that's why you don't apply for like a lot of universities, because that's not worth it. But it's not good to just apply to one university. It's not good to apply for a lot of universities. But yeah, just like, usually the tactic is apply for 10 universities, 3 very good, 3 medium, where you kind of like, you have a 90% chance of getting in, and then the other 3 where you are like, you're definitely getting in, but maybe you are like, okay, that's a backup plan. So yeah.
Yeah, Namita,
Mm-hmm.
you have pursued your MSc in statistics in Pune University in India,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
currently you're pursuing your PhD in abroad. Now,
Yeah.
can you just reflect on how the higher education is different in abroad than in India?
Oh,
Just give us
yeah,
a brief
definitely.
idea.
So it's it's a lot, how do I, it's a lot of application here, is what I feel like. Here I feel I'm exposed to a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of internships coming my way, and it's a lot of self learning, like, in the sense that you have professors coming in and teaching you, but there is a lot of expectations beyond those 1 hour of class. Like, they just, probably, I have 2 lectures every week. It's not much, but they they have like a very set thing, like how they want you to do homeworks every week, and it should be like on time. They want to, I don't think in Aloysius, even in St. Aloysius, not in Pune University, like, there was not no concept of homeworks. But I as a PhD student, I'm doing homeworks every week. I have few assignments that, and it's on an application level. It's something that you learn a lot from. There is like something that you do for classwork, and there is something as an applied part of classwork that you do. So that is one thing that I have found to be very different when I studied in India, and right now I'm studying. And of course, because I'm working and studying, uh, like, here, because I'm also working for them, like, it's a very different experience for me, because um I kind of try get to be, I'm also a student, I know, but I also kind of like, I'm also being a teacher to the undergrads. So you learn a lot. Like, I actually realized, I knew that maybe I like teaching, but now, because I'm doing this, I also realize that, well, maybe, teaching is something I can think about, because I am enjoying the process of teaching them. Like, and when I'm telling I'm teaching, like, I take a small course, like, like an undergrad course for them. So I design the entire course. They give me the liberty. They just give me a syllabus that, these are the things you need to cover, but how I want to cover it is my wish. So I, like, I have my fellow mates who kind of do it in a very different way. Like, I have friends who kind of help conduct quizzes and stuff, but I kind of want them to do a little project. So that's how it's a little different. But otherwise, the core is the same. Like, I feel, uh, because I really feel that basics are really taught well in India. Like, I have not had trouble understanding a lot of things here, because I feel my basics have been really strong. So that is the reason I give that credit, because even in when I did my bachelor's too, like, all those things, they count. Like, maybe not that time, but when I come here, because it's a lot of self learning, it helps a lot. So it's very important for you to, like, you might feel like, what's the use of this course and things like that sometimes when you do it, but it's, trust me, like, it would help you one day, like, because here it's like more of self learning. They kind of expect a lot from you. It's not, everything is not told to you. They just tell you like, oh, this is something that you would want to look at, and it will just appear in the paper, but you will have to be prepared. It's been a little different also because it's turned online now. So even if I have exams, it's open book exams, so they give me a day to complete exams. But it's on an applied level, like, they kind of tell me, like, because I'm into statistics, they kind of tell me to do data analysis. They give me a data. Sometimes they've also told me to like find a data, work on it, and then just give some analysis. So it's been a learning experience. Maybe the application part, like, I feel they kind of give you a lot of experience with respect to
Okay.
applications.
Namita,
Mm-hmm.
students are having many queries. I think we can
Okay.
quickly pick up the questions. So here is a question. Now, these days data science is a very booming field. Now, in
Yeah.
case the student want to do masters in data
Mm-hmm.
science, what exactly the procedure? How they have to go about after their BSc?
So,
And also, in case if they want to pursue their higher studies, higher education in abroad, apart
mm-hmm.
from US, which are the other countries you suggest?
Oh
Because
yeah,
given
like,
that
I
it
mean,
should be like cost effective, and also the
yeah, yeah,
education should be very qualitative in terms of both.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not promoting US here, and trust me, I'm not doing that. I'm just talking a lot about it because I have experiences. So that's the only thing I can talk about. But I know Germany has like really, and Germany has a lot of colleges that give free education. So, like, one thing that I want to tell, like, if you really want to pursue something abroad, and if you feel your finances, see, cost of living is high, like, because it's very different. But there are a lot of universities that provide free education because they want students to come in, like, and so don't, like, there is a little investment that you need to do. And I mean, I do not know the numbers, but it's not much. But like, frankly speaking, you need to, like, I know that in UK there are, like, I have had friends who are like, who have studied in UK. There are a lot of my friends who are like studying in Australia, and even in Germany and things. And in Germany, I've really heard there are a lot of universities that kind of give you, like, they waive off your education fee. It's like literally free education, but there is a little initial investment you need to do, just because you need to apply, like, even for your profile to go there, you will have to give that application fee. But if they really like your profile, they will consider you, like. And because they also need that labor, like, for example, like, I grade, right? If I do not do that, my professor has to do, like. So if they feel that, okay, paying a little amount of money for me to grade, it's helping me and it's helping them. So um, focus on something which will kind of give you certain assistance, because uh, see, if you have the luxury of just going like masters, there is it's a little, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'll have to really look into and have like research on which universities are, because see, now data science is something that you guys will be looking at. And trust me, data science here, it's booming, it's really booming, but it's equally very competitive. So, like, you will have to look into universities, you'll have to get that kind of profile. And that's why I'm telling, in your bachelor's, you have that luxury of time. So take up some online courses, like, do something that you like, do extracurricular activities. Like, obviously now it's COVID and you're kind of restricted, but online courses, you can do virtual courses, you can do virtual internships. Like, try approaching people, and I'm pretty sure there is a lot of things that have come up on internet right now. So go ahead with it.
So for MSc, I mean, for the data science, you say that they have to continue with their MSc in data science and then research
Yeah,
degree at the alternate
I think
MSc.
here it's not called MSc. I think it's called MS. But there's one slight issue that tends to happen, because here undergrads is it's considered 4 years of education, right? But when we are doing pure science, we are just doing 3 years. Like, say BSc, even BCA is 3 years. So it's like, at least in US, I know that they do not accept a 3-year degree. So that is the reason why I kind of did my master's and I got into a PhD program. And PhD is because I wanted to get into research. But there are few universities who accept, but that is one thing you'll have to look about that, because undergrad here is like equivalent to a 4-year course, and because we are doing a 3-year course, they sometimes might not just accept your profile. So you will have to, there are I'm not sure MS in data science might just, but um, like if it's like MSc, then I think it's 4 years, but MS maybe 3 years. You will have to look into it. But I remember that this was an issue, like when I felt like I wanted to do masters abroad, but it was like 3 years and 4 years.
Uh, I think, yeah, I think
Okay, there
you
is
have
one
already answered.
question that which I find in the end, which where would you prefer doing masters? See, like I did it in India, and I like that's what I'm telling you. Like in India, they give you that base. So I would not. See, both has their own advantages and disadvantages, right? Like I mean, exposure wise, maybe here it's better, but in India it's really good too. But it's very important for you to choose the right institution. Even like getting your masters in a, like you have to make sure that you get it in a very good institution, which is like, you know, you kind of get into an institution which kind of accepts you through like probably an entrance exam or something like that, because those kind of institutions are well known. And if there is any university which has alumni from those universities, right, like say like I know that from Pune a lot of people have come here. So um, when these UConn people must have looked at my profile, they must be like, oh well, we have had students from Pune before, so we know that university. So all that matters. So it's very important for you to get a master's from a good university, given that you're getting it in India.
Namita,
Yeah,
I think we will take the last question. With that, we will
yeah,
stop because we are short of time.
yeah, sure.
Is one question is whether BCA what about the BCA students after to get into data science? I think they also can go up with MS data
Oh
science.
yeah, yeah, of course,
And
yeah.
one more question is SAT exam is necessary to enter into US university?
I don't think so. uh I don't think so. SAT exam, I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Like I know GRE and TOEFL is like, they are something that any course that you're taking, you need those both. But SAT exam, I don't think so. But
Okay,
I'm
Namita,
looking.
would you mind sharing your email address with our students so that if
Oh
they
yeah,
have
yeah,
any queries,
definitely.
you don't
I
mind?
can do
So
that.
we will share your email ID with the students. If they have any queries, let them ask because we are short of time. And
Yeah, no.
it has been very nice, very wonderful interactive session, Namita. We are very happy for your session. And we have our Dean of the BCA department, Dr. Ravindra Swami, to propose the vote of thanks. So over to you.
Namita? Yeah. So I thank our beloved principal, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, for the opportunity. I thank our director, Dr. Norbert Lugo, for the guidance and helping us in organizing this kind of unique webinar. I also thank our resource person, Ms. Namita Pais, our ex-student, and also a student who is working for the data science and research. Thank you, Namita. Thank you very much. I also take this opportunity to thank our students, parents, participants for this kind of webinar. Thank you very much. And also in future, I would like your support for this kind of webinars. Thank you.
Okay. Students, feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Please fill it. And once again, Namita, very happy for this wonderful interactive session. Students, we have just ignited just a spark. But beyond that, there are too many opportunities, and it's your duty to explore it. As I said, it is not at the last moment, at the last year, you are just thinking about your career. It's the right time, I think, even for the first, not only for the first years and for the second years, to think about and to explore about your career. So I think you will do it. Namita, can you please post your email address in the chat box so that our
Yeah,
students
sure. Let me do that.
okay? Yeah, students, I repeat once again, the feedback link has been posted in the chat box. You can fill it and you will receive your e-certificate. And a resource person will share her email address uh, in the chat box. Feel free, she's our own student, so feel free to clarify all your doubts and queries. She will surely reply your queries. Okay, thank you once again. Thank you. Uh, thank you, dear students and my dear friends and Namita. Okay, Namita. Hello, Namita. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can hear you.
Shall we take a photo? One
Oh,
one
yeah, sure.
photo. Okay, with the resource person. Okay.
Is it done?
1 second. 1 second, Namita.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Geotag with geotag.
One is one.